So welcome again students. Today we are going to cover the preliminary and primary treatment part 7. In part 6 we have studied about the plain sedimentation tank and the phenomena involved for removal of sediments. We have derived the equation for settlement velocity. We have also discussed about the types of settling tank, and the last term I told you the most commonly used primary sedimentation tank is rectangular horizontal flow continuous type of sedimentation tank. So today we are going to study about the constructional feature and working of the tank. Okay, so this is the sketch of the rectangular settling tank. This is the plan and this is the longitudinal section. So first we will discuss about the longitudinal section. Okay, so this is the inflow sewer. This inflow sewer enters into a sort of a trough or channel, overhanging channel, which runs across the width. So in the plan you can see this is the inlet arrangement or inlet channel. So from this pipe this sewage is get filled into full width, and from there the sewage comes into the sedimentation tank across full width. Here the flow is coming through a pipe, but the width of tank is quite large, maybe 5, 6 or 10 meters. The pipe may be hardly a 1 meter diameter maximum. So to distribute it throughout the width, this arrangement is provided, influent channel is provided. So it is here, this overhanging channel type. Okay, then sewage topples here, overflows here and comes here. So because of this flow it will have some horizontal velocity. So to kill that velocity, a baffle is placed in front of that. This baffle do not allow sewage to move like this. The sewage is diverted to go downward, and from the bottom of this baffle sewage may travel like that. Okay, so this baffle makes the horizontal velocity of flow here 0. Once the sewage comes here, then some horizontal velocity of flow will be imparted, because there is a draft created due to outflow of the sewage. Because sewage is coming from here, some draft is created. Because of that, some horizontal velocity will be imparted. So this horizontal velocity is not on account of the initial velocity of flow, it is because of the draft created by the outlet. Okay, so this is total length. Bottom is a hopper type, this is a pit type. The bed is slightly sloping, it is a downward. Upward slope is about 1%, 1.5%. The slope depends on the method of collection. If the automatic collection method is there, then 1% slope is provided. Okay, so sewage travels from here and goes like that, and the particles being heavier goes like this, and they get stuck to the bottom. So here you can see there is an outlet that is called effluent channel. Like influent channel, similarly across the full width there is a effluent channel. So the sewage wastewater overflows, trickles through the weir and falls into the effluent channel, and then it comes out from the effluent pipe. Okay, so sewage when enters here, it contains sediments or suspended particles. These suspended particles settle down at the bottom, and when the sewage flows from here to here, the targeted suspended particles are removed. They come down to the bottom. So the sewage which does not have those targeted particles or sewage divide off those targeted particles comes out here, and that way the suspended impurities are removed. So in plain rectangular sedimentation tank, 0.06 mm to 0.2 mm size particles are removed. At the bottom you can see there is a collecting channel or some sort of a traveler, some sort of a belt. It is moving on the wheel. One wheel is here, another wheel is here, there is some motor, and this whole belt moves like this. So there's a motor over the platform, so because of motion it is moving like this. So this belt is slightly above the bottom. So when this belt moves like this, the sludge accumulated here or sediments deposited at the bottom, they are dragged along with the belt and they are brought to here, and that way they are made to fall in the hopper, sludge hopper. In the sludge hopper, a sludge withdrawal pipe is provided, and through the hydrostatic pressure the sludge accumulated is removed time to time. Sometimes it is observed that at the top some scum is formed. So to remove that scum, we provide some adjustable effluent weir, and through that the scum may be taken out. So this is the plan. In plan, this is a inlet channel, this is the outlet channel, this is inlet arrangement, this is a overflow weir, overflow well, and there's pipes. You can see small circles. These are the opening through which the sewage is distributed uniformly throughout the width. Then this dotted line is the baffle plate, overhanging baffle plates, through which the sewage is diverted downward and horizontal velocity of flow is made 0, and then sewage flows from top here to here, and then this is a skim removal arrangement, and this is a effluent channel or outlet channel, that is again a sort of trough. So sewage falls through weir over that, and then it is taken out of that. And all these shows are nothing but the belt, etc., the motor, belt, chain, etc. This element is shown over here. So this is the constructional feature and the working of a rectangular continuous type horizontal flow plain sedimentation tank that is very commonly used. Okay, so now we will study about the principle of working and theory of design. So this can be studied by simplifying that. This whole is a tank. It can be divided into 5 zones. First is inlet zone. So the region near to entry is inlet zone, where inlet channel is provided, overflow weir is provided, distribution channel is provided. Similarly, some distance before the outlet, it is outlet zone, where overflow weir is provided or overflow channel is provided. At the bottom, it depth about 1 meter or 1.2 meter or 0.8 or 0.5 meter is reserved for accumulation of sludge, that is called sludge zone. And at the top we leave some open space, that is called freeboard, which may be 0.3 meter to 0.5 meter depending on the size of the sedimentation channel. And this area is actually the effective area of the plain sedimentation tank, and that is called settling zone. So when we are designing a settlement channel, settlement tank, then we are finding the length of this zone, the width, height of this zone, and width of this zone. And then we add additional depth, length for inlet, additional length for outlet, we will get full length. If we add additional depth for sludge, additional depth for freeboard, we will get the full depth, and that way we can work out the dimension. So while designing, we assume certain assumptions to simplify the phenomena. First assumption is that when the particle is settling, the flow is laminar. It means no turbulence is created, so Stokes' law is valid. And the flow velocity of sewage from inlet to outlet is steady and uniform. Steady means it is not changing with time, and uniform means at any point you will find the velocity is same. Another assumption is that the concentration of suspended solids anywhere is same. So this is another assumption. And one more important assumption is that when a particle reaches to the bottom, touches the bottom, it is supposed to be removed. Okay, the particle which fails to reach is not taken into consideration, that the particle is removed. So to fulfill that assumptions, the outlet shall be designed in such a way so that turbulence is not there. Otherwise, due to turbulence, this particle which reaches at the bottom may come into suspension due to turbulence and will not be removed. So accordingly, we have to design the outlet, and it is assumed that the particle once reaches at the bottom, it is deemed to be removed. So the whole tank is divided into 5 zones that we have already discussed: inlet zone, outlet zone, sludge zone, freeboard, and settling zone. Now, to derive some equation, to understand some design principle, let us have discussion about its conceptual diagram. Capital L is the length. This length is the length of the settlement zone from here to here. To get total full length, you have to add the length of inlet, length of outlet. B is the width. Width, it is not visible because this is a 2-dimensional figure. Width is on the dimension perpendicular to the direction of paper, that is width B. H is the height. Height is that height through which the particle settles. So particles starts from here because this is a freeboard, nothing is there, and this is a sludge zone. So from entry to sludge zone, this depth means this is called the depth of the or height of the tank. Overall height, how we can get? We can add this to freeboard and sludge, then total height is the height of the tank. So L length, B width, H height. So what will be the volume? Volume is L into B into H, that is length into width into height. What is the surface area? Surface area means plan area. So plan area is length into width. What is the cross section area? Cross section area will be width into height. Let us say the sewage is entering here with a constant discharge Q. So when particle comes here, it will have some velocity of horizontal flow, that is VD, horizontal velocity of flow. And let us say with the water particle there is a suspended particle also. So the velocity of the suspended particle will be VD here, that is horizontal velocity VD. But once it is set free over here, then it will start settling because of the gravity force. So after some time it will achieve a constant settlement velocity Vs, that is terminal velocity, and we have discussed about that earlier. So the suspended particles will have two velocities. One is horizontal velocity of flow, because of which the particle continue to move toward outlet. Another is terminal velocity or settlement velocity, because of which the particle will go downward. So under the effect of these two velocities, the particle will neither travel truly horizontal nor it will travel truly vertical. It will follow a path like this, and it should come at that point during the detention period. Okay, so Vs is the settlement velocity. Detention period is T. Detention period is that period which is required to fill the tank when its outlet is closed and sewage is allowed to enter with discharge Q. So the detention time can be determined by formula volume upon Q. So detention time is the time which is required to fill the tank if outlet is closed, or you can say it is the time for which the sewage remains in the tank. Okay, that is detention time. So what is the horizontal velocity of flow? It is discharge upon cross-sectional area, which is obvious. This is a very fundamental law of fluid mechanics. So discharge upon cross-sectional area, that is Q is discharge, cross-sectional area is width into height. Time of flow. Time of flow means the time taken for particle to move from inlet to outlet. So this time we can find out by dividing this length, that is the length of the tank, by the horizontal velocity. So time of flow T0 is equal to length upon Vd, length is L. Vd, you can put the value of Vd from here, Q upon Bh. So Vd is equal to Q upon Bh, that is LBH upon Q, and LBH we know is volume, the volume upon Q. So from this equation we can say the time of flow to move from here to here is equal to V upon Q, and V upon Q we know is detention time. It means that the horizontal velocity of flow Vd is numerically equal to detention time, or you can say they are one and the same thing. Now time of settlement, how much time this particle take to settle, how much distance it is to travel, distance h from here to here. So the time is equal to always distance upon velocity. So distance is h, velocity is horizontal velocity of flow Vs. So height upon Vs, that is time of settlement. Normally it is assumed that by the time the particle reaches at the bottom, at the same time the liquid particle associated with the particle will reach at the outlet. It means time of flow is equal to time of settlement. So time of settlement is h upon Vs, that is height upon settlement velocity, and time of flow is LBH upon Q, that is time of flow LBH upon Q. From here we can work out that Vs is equal to Q upon LB, and LB is surface area. This term Q upon surface area is called the overflow rate or surface loading rate. So from this equation we can say that the settlement velocity is numerically equal to the surface loading rate. So once the dimensions are fixed, once the discharge is fixed, then the particles which are removed should have the settlement velocity Vs or settlement velocity more than Vs. So particles whose settlement velocity is more than Vs, they will move to the bottom earlier and those will be removed. So which particle will have higher settlement velocity? Coarser particles. So target particle is that particle for which the settlement velocity Vs is equal to the overflow rate or surface loading rate, and that is measured in terms of meter cube per meter square per day, because the unit of this is meter cube per day and this is meter square, surface area is meter square, so meter cube per meter square per day. And the particles for which the Vs is less than Q upon A, those particles will not come here. When the water particle associated with that reaches here, they will come somewhere here, so they are partly removed. So the friction of the particles which are removed for the velocity of settlement V dash S, that friction can be determined by the formula V dash S divided by Q upon A, that is V dash S upon Vs. So this ratio, that is the settlement rate of the smaller particle, settlement rate of the targeted particle, the ratio is the fraction. So this is the fraction by which the smaller particles having settlement velocity V dash S will be removed. Yeah. So these are some technical terms associated with the settlement tank, that is detention time, overflow rate, horizontal velocity of flow, surface area, cross-sectional area, volume, etc., etc. So now we will discuss about the design criteria of the settlement tank or basin. So the targeted particle has a specific gravity 1.01 to 1.2, and the settlement tanks are designed for average discharge. Earlier we have designed screens, we have designed grid chamber, and all they were designed for maximum discharge. Why? Because the detention time of these was very small, in seconds or minutes, but the detention time in settlement tank is in hours. That is why they are designed for average discharge. Okay, and particle size which is targeted is 0.06 to 0.2 mm, because the particle more than 0.2 mm, they are called grit, they are already removed by the grit chamber, and the particle which are less than 0.06 mm are called as the colloidal particles, and they require coagulant for their removal. So the particle of this range can only be removed by gravity or plane sedimentation. Overflow rate that is maintained should be kept 25 to 30 for average flow, during average flow for primary settlement tank. For primary settlement tank, for average flow, the overflow rate or surface loading rate, that is Q upon surface area, its value shall be 25 to 30 meter cube per meter square per day, and at maximum discharge it should not exceed 50 to 60 meter cube per meter square per day. Similarly, for primary settlement tank followed by SST, these corresponding values, that is the surface overflow rate is 35 to 50 meter cube per meter square per day at average flow, and 80 to 125 meter cube per meter square per day for maximum discharge or peak discharge. For secondary settlement tank, that is a humus tank, the corresponding value of the surface loading rate at average discharge is 8 to 15 meter cube per meter square per day, and at maximum discharge the corresponding or maximum value is 35 meter cube per meter square per day. The horizontal velocity of flow in the sedimentation tank should be 0.3 meter per minute maximum. Otherwise, the turbulence will be created and settlement will not take place. The detention period of plain sedimentation tank is kept about 2 to 2.5 hours. The wear loading is the discharge, total discharge upon total length of wear, is 360 meter cube per meter per day for primary settlement tank at average flow, and 100 meter cube per meter square per day for secondary settlement tank for average flow. It should not exceed. If the wear loading rate exceed to these values, then what will happen? The turbulence will be created near outlet, and this turbulence will cause the settled particles to come in resuspension, and settled particle will again come in resuspension, and they will come out with the outflow. Therefore, the efficiency of removal will be reduced. That is why the wear loading is contained. So at weirs, V notches are provided, which are 50 mm deep, 90-degree angle, and they are placed as a spacing of about 0.15 meter to 0.3 meter, and they have a free fall about 2 centimeter to 10 centimeter, not more than that. The length of the sedimentation tank is, depth of the primary sedimentation tank is kept between 2 to 3.0. Freeboard provided is 0.3 minimum, but normally it is provided as a 0.5 meter. Extra Depth for sludge storage is about 0.5 meter to 1.2 meter. Maximum length is about 90 meter, and 90 meter is the maximum permissible length, and maximum permissible width is 30 meter. L to B ratio, length to width ratio of the rectangular tank is kept 1.5 to 7.5, not more than 7.5, not less than 1.5. And length to depth, that is height ratio, is between 5 to 25. Slope, bottom slope of 1% to 2% is provided. That slope leads to hopper where the sludge is collected. The settlement velocity of the particle, that is targeted particle, is assumed 0.3 mm per second, that is equivalent to 1.2 meter per hour. Apart from that, we have to provide some inlet arrangements. The purpose of inlet arrangement is to distribute the sewage uniformly throughout the width of this settlement tank and reduce the turbulence at entry. Otherwise, this turbulence will hamper the sedimentation process, and this inlet arrangement will also avoid short circuiting. Because of short circuiting, what happens, some water comes out at the outlet without spending the duration equal to detention time. So when this happens, it is called short circuiting, and because of short circuiting, the efficiency of the treatment is drastically reduced. So how we can provide inlet arrangement? By providing multiple pipe inlet with baffles. So multiple pipes are provided, in front baffle plate is placed, or perforated baffle wall, or submerged weir type. Weir which is submerged. Similarly, outlet arrangements are also provided near outlet. The purpose of outlet arrangement is to collect treated sewage or wastewater uniformly, and during collection the disturbance should not be there. So we have to reduce the disturbance, otherwise the disturbance will cause resuspension of the solids. The settled solid may re-suspended. So to avoid that, we have to provide suitable type of outlet arrangement. And outlet arrangement normally provided are overflow weir type with V-notch or submerged type. So inlet and outlet, suitable inlet and outlet arrangements are the integral part of the rectangular sedimentation tank or any type of sedimentation tank. It is found that the primary sedimentation tank may remove the particles 0.002 and above up to 45% to 60%. This means that its percentage efficiency to remove targeted particle is maximum 60%, and some BOD is also removed, and its range is about 30% to 45%. Though the primary settlement tank is not designed to remove BOD, but what happens, along with the sediments or particles, some organic materials are also removed, and because of that the BOD is also removed. The percentage of BOD removed depends on the characteristic of the organic particles. If the wastewater contains high concentration of very small organic particles, then the percentage removal of BOD will be more, because these particles are removed along with the inorganic solids, which are the targeted particles for removal in primary sedimentation tank. Apart from rectangular tanks, circular tanks are also used. The diameter of circular tank is 3 to 60 meter, depth is about 2 meter, and this depth is excluding hopper. The bottom of circular tank is kept some hopper shape, so this depth is excluding that depth of hopper shape. And bed slope is given, sludge pit is there, which is sludge is removed hydrostatically. So this detail we have already discussed in the sketch or diagram of working of the treatment plant, like this one. So length, height, width, influent, inlet, outlet, all these arrangements we have mentioned over here. So these are called the design criteria. So in the next term we will discuss about the designing, how it is designed. We will solve the problem of our design of primary sedimentation tank. Thank you.